Look at that. Hi there. I am Aaron. Welcome to the Call to Cinema. Tonight we are going to be talking about a few things. If you're on my Twitter, my Instagram, you probably already know what those few things are. If you're not on my Twitter or my Instagram, then I'm just going to take a second to go through that right now. But I'm going to do what I should be doing every time I come on here. The first thing, I want to shout out my Patreon subscribers because thank you so much for everything you do. So, Action Jackman, Brent, Brian, Dale, Dr. Mark Mad Scientist, JR62, Ryan, and the other Ryan, and Shadow, thank you so much. Hey there, Chris. Yeah, long time no see. We haven't spoken in ages, right? Luckily, see, Chris is on my Instagram, so he knows when these videos are coming up, and that's always a fun thing. My Instagram is charmed007. So if you ever want to know when these videos are coming up ahead of time, that's a good way to do it. Hey there, Dave. I'm working on getting a Twitter just for hey there, Alan, just for my for my channel, because I don't want my personal stuff and my movie channel stuff to coincide. Because like everybody else, I have views, and I do like to keep that stuff off the channel. we keep this fun and chill. Welcome to the Call to Cinema, by the way, guys. And what we're talking about tonight, we're talking about three main things, and I want your opinion on one of these things a lot. I'm really gonna need your opinion here. If you're here, hit that like button, share, subscribe. If you get the chance and you can do it, tweet out the video, especially directed if I speak about a particular company, tag them, let them know. That is one awesome thing you can do to help the channel. Anyway, tonight we are talking about the Arrow Gamera set that's coming out. All the features have been announced, and guys, it is massive. It is a pretty amazing set. We are going to look at the two Flash Gordon 4K sets that are coming out. You think there's one Flash Gordon for you? There are two Flash Gordon 4K sets, and both of them are coming out in the same region, which makes it even more crazy and insane, which is fantastic. So there's a Studio Canal version and there's an Arrow version, and apparently they both have the same print too, which is going to make it even harder to decide which one that you're going to want to go with. Other factors are going to come into play there. We'll talk about those other factors on here as well. We're also going to do the first part of a new series that I'm doing, and it crosses over with my After Dark series. That'll be the last thing I do on here, because that's the later night one when I'll put on my smoking jacket. Now, because I am starting a new series, and I really want your guys' opinion on this. So please give me your feedback with this one. I will be doing a out of print review series. So every once in a while, I'm going to pick a Blu-ray or DVD that I know has gone out of print. Specifically, I'm going to try to go for companies first, like Vinegar Syndrome, Screen Factory, Twilight Time, Synapse, like all those. And we'll look at some of the out of print. I'm going to look at some of the out of print titles. I'll watch them, watch the features that are on them if they have features, and I will let you know if that out of print title is worth tracking down. If it's something that you can wait on to come out from another company, if it's one that that's a must-have, if it's a one, we'll work on a rating scale. So, what do you guys think of that series, that idea? Did I watch the SpaceX? I saw part of it. Congratulations, going up to a space station. They should be there tomorrow. Excellent, awesome. Anything science-y is my like I mentioned before, my better half. She is a scientist, so that's what she was. That she went to university for. So we have big science geeks in our house and all around us. So yeah, there's a lot of talk about that type of stuff where we're from. And tonight later on, I'll let you know the title that we're going to start the out of print review series on. Hey there, Frankie. So later on tonight, we will be talking about. Thanks, Chris. That's what I want to know. See, I want to see what people's thoughts are. I don't want people being silent when it comes to this. Brian, here's one that I'm going to run by you now, too, since you're here. Well, tonight we're talking about the Gamera box set. I'm going to go through all the features. There's a lot of them, man. There's a lot. And we are going to be talking about the two Flash Gordon competing 4K sets that are coming out. They're both pretty awesome. We're going to see which one we like best. We're going to go through the features. But there's a new series, Ryan. There's a new series, and it is OOP reviews. So I'm going to be doing reviews on a recurring basis of out-of-print Blu-ray titles from different companies. And basically I'll let you know about the titles, about the films, the features, and if it's worth it to track down these out-of-print Blu-rays, or if you can wait for later on, or for it to come into with another company. So I'm going to do that. I think that's I personally think it's a brilliant idea with no false modesty there. I like the idea. I think it's genius. Hopefully you like it too. But I got very excited when I thought about it. I'm also, as I was mentioning on Instagram, because I was talking to some people on Instagram, I'm going to be doing forgotten franchises as well. So we're going to be looking at some of the franchises, not the big ones, not the Friday 13th and the Halloweens and stuff that everybody talks about, but some of the smaller franchises. We're going to be looking at stuff like the Wrong Turn series and the Candyman series and the Prophecy and stuff like that. Those and the Crow films. Is Gamera like Godzilla? It is in a way. I mean, the Gamera films are very totally different in the way that they're done. The original Gamera films, hey there, Javid, are kind of like it's a flying turtle, right? And they spinning around, which sounds kind of silly. And it was like friend to children type of thing in the original. Thanks. I do like the out of print series idea. I'm actually very excited about it. So you will probably see a few of those videos coming up in the near future. You're going to see a lot of you're going to see these spinning turtles, and he's going to fight all these monsters. So in a way, it's like Godzilla that way. And it also gets like Godzilla in another way, that when it goes into like the 90s, 2000s era, it tonally shifts completely and becomes a darker, more badass series. And the reboot of Gamera is excellent. I wish there was more of them, actually, because I really, really enjoyed. The Gamera films are really fun and silly, kind of cheesy, kaiju films. Much like the cheesier era, the show era of Godzilla, but the other Gamera ones are in the 90s. They're badass. The set is coming out and on July 28th from Arrow Video. And if you, for instance, if you picked up the set that they had, remember the Herschel Gordon Lewis set, the one that looks like a cereal box. Remember that set? Like I've shown it on here before. Well, it's going to be the size of that set. So there's going to be a ton of stuff in it, and we're going to look at that, talk about that in a couple of minutes. For those that are unaware, the first out of print review series, it has, oh yeah, we'll get into the comic book as well, is going to be tonight. This later on tonight is the 5 Films, 5 Years, Volume 1. I went through that twice, and I did a ton of notes. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that. But that's much later on. Right now we're going to talk about Gamera first, Flash Gordon, and some other stuff as well. I guess I should let you guys know. If you are a Patreon member of either me or Serial Midnight, then me and Serial Midnight did a video together where we talked about, well, basically, what's so much different? We just we chewed the fat. We talked and stuff like that. And we talked about a lot of different stuff. It's a really fun one. It's on both our Patreon pages. But don't worry, even if you're not a patron, I think Monday or Tuesday it's going live on the Serial Midnight channel, and it'll be free for everybody to see at that point. So everybody will get a chance to see it, and hopefully you'll check it out. There were some technical issues, so just don't hold that against us. We did the best that we could. I know it is. It's like Arrow, and Studio Canal. It's not like it's different regions. It's the same region. It's going to be DVD box set of Gamera. I doubt it. So I actually took out some pictures of this. Hey there, Dungeon. We're talking Gamera right now because it's crazy. It's crazy, insane. All right, so let's go to. Is it that many discs? Okay, yeah. So, all right. Are you ready for the Gamera? If I'm missing your messages, I'll check them in a second. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to read out to you exactly what's on the Gamera set, and then we can talk about it a bit if you're a Gamera fan. No, not the Mill Creek one. Well, it is. I guess it's put by Mill Creek. But we're talking about Dungeon, the amazing Arrow set, which is way goes beyond what Mill Creek put out, obviously. So, okay, so disc 1 is going to be Gamera the Giant Monster, high definition transfer with lossless original Japanese and dubbed English mono audio, so you can have it either way. You can listen to its Japanese one. There's going to be subtitles on if you want to listen to it in its original Japanese, or you can watch it with the audio on. There's also a newly filmed audio commentary by August Ragoon. The transfer of Gamera the Invincible as a Blu-ray premiere. There's American theatrical version of the film with lossless mono audio and English subtitles for the. So there's 2 different versions of the film on here. Remembering Gamera the series, an archive featurette from 1991, including interviews with the director, writer, and others. An interview done by the guy that did a necromantic. Okay, yeah, it looks like it. In 2002, Gamera special, an hour-long best-of compilation, supervised by the director in 1991. Alternate English credits, trailer, and image gallery. That's disc 1, by the way. Disc 2 as Gamera versus Baragon and Gamera versus Gaios. I like Gaios actually. And again, this again we're getting you're getting great transfers on both of these here. You're going to have the be able to choose between Japanese or English dub, whichever you prefer. Also, you're going to get a commentary on Gamera versus Baragon, but with August Ragon and Jason Varney. You're going to get a commentary on Gamera versus Gaios by Stuart Galbraith IV. There is a newly filmed introduction to both films by August Ragoon. High definition transfers of the films. Of course, alternate English credits for both films. And of course, the trailers and image gallery. Disc 3 gets us Gamos versus Virus and Gamos versus Guran. I hope I'm getting them right. Again, you're going to get choice of 3 different versions of Gamos versus Virus via seamless branching, a 72-minute theatrical version, an 81-minute director's cut of the film, and a 90-minute U.S. extended version of the film. There's going to be a commentary on Gamera versus Virus with by Carol Craig and Jim Coronelli, a commentary by Gamera versus Gairon by David Callett, newly filmed introductions by August Ragoon, new featurette with actor Carol Craig showing souvenirs and props from Gamera versus Virus, highlights from the GFX X conventions in 2003, the 4th Nippon Jamboree, a promotional film for the Boy Scouts of Japan, alternate English credits for both films, Disc 4, Gamera versus Jagir, Gamera versus Zigra, and Gamera Super Monster. So we got 3 on this one. Again, you got either the original Japanese or the dubbed English ones. Commentary on all 3 films. And Disc 5 is Gamera versus the Guardian of the Universe. Gamera, the Guardian of the Universe, with a commentary by Matt Frank, newly filmed introduction, a testimony of 15 years, part 1, the first in a. Let's do this right. The first in an epic 3-part documentary interviewing cast and crew of the Heisei trilogy. Interviews with director and SFX director. Extended 90-minute interview with the special effects director from 2001, focusing on the trilogy special effects. Behind-the-scenes featurettes tracing the film's production from announcements to release. Alternate English credits. And then there's we get Gamera 2: Attack of Legion that's Disc 6. Again, a 4K restoration for these new ones, by the way. Original Japanese or again dubbed English, you can choose. Commentary by Carl Yant. Newly filmed introduction, a testimony of 15 years, obviously part 2, on-set footage from making of the film, behind-the-scenes featurettes, a Lake Texarkana comedic dub track, which is actually kind of interesting. I won't spell that for you. And Disc 7 is Gamera 3: Revenge of Iris, which has, again, it's a 4K restoration, Japanese English stuff, testimony of 15 years, volume 3, newly filmed interviews with Kaio Tatsumi about the DNA of Takatsu exhibition in Tokyo by kaiju historian Edward L. Holland, behind-the-scenes featurettes, deleted scenes, the Awakening of Iris remix, a montage of behind-the-scenes footage. We got alternate English credits, a spoof commentary by Gamera. See the chat, the stream isn't showing, really? Oh, let me know, guys, if you're not saying stuff here. And Soldier number 6. And the 8th disc as Gamera the Brave. It's that one is again as a 1080p. There's a How to Make a Gamera movie, a featurette hosted by director Ryuto Tasaki. Behind the scenes of Gamera the Brave, an all-access on-set documentary, The Men That Made Gamera, a documentary looking back at the series from start to finish, featuring interviews with the cast and crew. Opening day premiere featurette, Chaos Summer, an interview. Oh my God! And an interview with the film's young star, and all of this. So if you're not sure if you can see it or not, but there is going to be a map, Gamera's Map of Japan, There is going to be a hardcover comic book, which is going to reprint the Dark Horse Gamera, and it's going to print or also reprint. Hey there, Alan. It's also going to reprint the prequel Gamera comic that has only ever been done in Japan with no English. So this is the first time it's going to be reprinted in English. It is going to have some cards. And an insane amount of stuff. So plus it's going to have another like a making of book with a bunch of like kind of like a Gamera book as well. So it's got the hardcover comic book and another book too. So you got like the comic book, the map. It's going to have like the postcards. It's going to have a like a regular like book as well. So you got two books, like an insane amount of stuff. This Gamera one is going to be big, much like the. Tell you what, let me show you. We can do this. So, a beast of a character. Now, with all that being said, and I do apologize, I missed a lot of your messages because I was actually reading everything here from my phone, which I check your messages on. Just give me a second here to open this up here, and before we go any further, I want to talk about that. Your guys' thoughts on the set, and if any of you guys here are going to be picking it up. Welcome back, Brian. I am trying to get my video. I'm having a hard time finding it. There we go. Because I want to see your messages. Do you have a favorite film from Herschel Gordon Lewis? That's hard to say. I mean, I do like 2000 Maniacs, like obviously, but Blood Feast for some ways. Blood Feast is weird, and but Go-Go Girls is okay. I do like a lot of his stuff. That's the thing. That's my problem, and I even like some of his different stuff. It's kind of totally different stuff that came out from the Vinegar Syndrome set. I got to get that set, by the way, so I can actually complete my Herschel Gordon Lewis collection. But I'll take the safe one. I'll go with something like The Mad Magician or something like that now, which I find is actually kind of cool and cheesy. Javed, Herschel Gordon Lewis is back in the day of like kind of like the Color Me Blood Red is actually excellent. I forgot about that one. Of the gore, of the splatter era. But his stuff was so over the top and so cheesy that you really couldn't take it seriously. And that's kind of the way that it was meant to be. Is he like, well, in a way, they both started the same. They both started doing like kind of like nudie, cutie, light, or like kind of harmless erotica type stuff. It's just that Herschel Gordon Lewis didn't have he couldn't do it the way that Russ Meyer could. Russ Meyer excelled at it. So Herschel Gordon Lewis decided he was going to go in a different direction. It said people had a bit of a bloodlust, and and he can make films for low budgets with some like questionable actors, and because he had style to it, because he had a bit of style to it, he could actually do a much better version for like some of his gore films or some of his like I guess action style films than he could for his earlier films. But remember, Brian, those are his earlier films, so that's when he's just kind of learning his craft. Some people would say Herschel Gordon Lewis didn't really ever learn his craft, but I disagree. I think he has done some decent stuff. He's definitely a director that is interesting. Russ Meyer, no, he didn't really. Well, there's some like not really gore, but there's like some actiony scenes or some deaths in some of his movies. But Russ Meyer was never big on the gore stuff. Russ Meyer likes certain other things. Yeah, exactly like Cinematheque. His films are very self-aware. He knew the type of films that he was making. And I think that's the thing. It's the thing that like puts somebody like a Russ Meyer or an Al Adamson apart from some people that actually didn't. Lewis was smart. That actually you can actually tell. So let me just take a drink here. And while I'm taking this drink, let me ask you a question. For Surmount's a great movie. Love Jim Waters. What are your thoughts on the Gamera? Who's getting the Gamera set? Shout out. Now, for anybody here that's getting the Gamera set, like shout out and tell me. If you've pre-ordered it already or something that you're looking at. Will I take the plane, Okugan? It's not animated, Javed. It is much like it's kaiju. It's like think of Godzilla, the Godzilla films. That's what I've heard, Cinematech, is that the Gamera set is going to be cereal box size, much like the Herschel Girl News. So, like, don't quote me on it, but from all the pictures I've seen and everything that I've heard from people that have seen, seen it up close, it is like the Herschel Girl News set. It is a big set. If you picked up the Criterion Godzilla set and you didn't pick up the Gamera set, or you're not going to pick up the Gamera set, I'm going to say this: what the hell? Yeah, definitely order it, pre-order it while it's still in pre-order stage, because I do find that these things tend to go up in price afterwards. I understand, man, Dave. The limited funds. Trust me, I think a lot of us here can understand the limited funds. The biggest arrow set? Well, so far, no, well, not really. Well, yes and no. This is definitely the biggest, like, size, length arrow set. I guess, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for hitting the like button. But I guess the biggest one that you're going to see from, actually, production value on Godzilla is not crappy. You have to understand. Always understand, Brian, take things in the context of when it was made and the studio and how it was made. Always do that. Because they're fun films made on a fairly, especially the original Godzilla film. Look at the production on the original Godzilla film. And the Gamera films, especially the 9 ones, are amazing. Like Godzilla character with Godzuki. Yeah, I enjoy both those. It's supposed to be a guy in a suit, because you know what? Because when you go and you computerize or you do like something like that, it doesn't work. It does not work. We've seen it so many times not working. It's supposed to be a guy in a suit. That's part of the charm. If you can't understand that, then you may never get may never understand like the appeal of Godzilla. That's like, I watched wrestling, and I would always have people come up to me and say things like, "Oh, I hear you watch wrestling," especially when I was in college, right? And it was like, so I heard, wrestling is fake, right? You know how many times I heard that? Do you know how much they got on my nerves? I'm like, no, it's not. It's predetermined. But considering the massive amount of people that die at a young age, it's insulting to call it fake. That's the pet peeve of mine. So, is wrestling predetermined? Yes, of course. It's a soap opera, like with a, and that's the way it's like saying wrestling is real. Who said that? Was that Mick Foley? But yeah, but honestly, in all seriousness, not like go ask, Bruiser Brody's family or Owen Hart's family how fake it is, and they'll have something to say about you. I did like to make your work from, actually. I actually really did like to make your work from, because it is so. I'm Canadian. The stadium stampede was amazing. Especially when he started shoving Matt Hardy down under the water and drowning him. And every time he came up, he had on did you notice he had on a different suit? And he was a different version of Matt Hardy. It was hilarious. A lot of people aren't going to, like old school wrestling fans are probably not going to like that. But like Jim Cornette, not going to like it. But me and my better half cracked up. We were crying. It was my favorite wrestler. Oh God, back in the day, he's unfortunately didn't end well. But I guess you can guess who that was. But my favorite wrestler used to be a guy that unfortunately w- w- almost killed the business. I had to choose between Godzilla and Gamera. I like them both. I would probably, I'd probably go with Godzilla because there's a wider berth, like a breadth of films there, when it comes to what they do. But I do love Gamera films too. Is your Are you joking? Is your favorite wrestler seriously Tatanka? Mil Mascaras. I remember Mil Mascaras. I heard he was kind of a jerk though, like behind the scenes. But that being said, I don't want to like have to choose between either one of them. I love them; they're both fun. But but I don't know. Maybe was he a jerk really? Jericho. If I could pick a modern day wrestler, somebody like Jericho would be like one of the guys that I really like. Although the WWE was not like my promotion, it was like WCW and then TNA, the earlier TNA, not now. No, no, actually, Gamera series and the Godzilla series, never the twain unfortunately shall meet because of like rights issues and stuff like that. I would love to see Gamera and Godzilla together, especially now. They could do with Godzilla movies if they maintain popularity. Obviously, Godzilla King of the Monsters did not do as well. I think my dad saw the Bushwhackers in person at a thing. He saw the Bushwhackers and Mark Calvert, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels and people. Let's get to wrestling. Me, that's how we got in wrestling. Uh, but but yeah. So for anybody not getting the Gamera set, I gotta have it. It's just so sexy. Are there a lot of King Kong films? No, not really. Actually, King Kong is one of the more one where you got less. I mean, you got King Kong. There's a couple remakes and stuff. There's Son of Kong, and there's upcoming like King Kong versus Godzilla movie coming out. But now King Kong's probably one of the lesser known ones. And of course, there's the original King Kong versus Godzilla, which is really a Japanese kind of knockoff version of King Kong. Pretty like if you want to see. Brian mentioned like the guys in suits. Wait do you see the version of King Kong that is in that. It's hilarious. Valley Guanji, you're asking about. Valley Guanji was done by one of my favorites actually. I got his box that's over there. Um, it's stop motion animation. See? I totally see. We can't agree on a lot of things when it comes to this stuff, Brian. I really didn't like the Peter. It was okay, but it was so miscast. But I have friends that love it. It's their favorite. Well, that's the thing. Like with Godzilla, there was this. He grew like a stable of monsters over the years. Like look at all the we got like Mothra and you got like King Ghidorah, and oh god, there's so many of them. But with Kong, there was really like it was about him. It kind of like the first film kind of really focused on him, and we never really got like an adversary to Kong. Really, like he fought a couple people on Skull Island, but it wasn't until more recently we did Kong Skull Island that they really started it. Land Time Forgot, and the People the Time Forgot. Actually, there's two of them, and yeah, they did have like there was kind of like dinosaur stuff. My better half would totally agree with that. Lord of the Rings is her favorite. I would never tell her that. Oh, everybody got their own favorites. But going from like Kaiju to space, and Godzilla goes in space too, because Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. That's the thing. If you've never seen it, that's the thing. You're not the only person, Javed. I mean, like I didn't get into it first originally. I was, and I'm still I like it, but and the technical achievement that is Lord of the Rings is unsurpassed for what they did. But it's more my better half's thing than me. I was more of a Star Wars and a Star Trek guy. I like those things. But my better half, she's read Lord of the Rings a lot, much like Christopher Lee. She read it every year type of thing, and that was her that was her thing. And anybody that that looks at it from that standpoint and from the book, like you can't like even Avatar, which by the way I think is extremely overrated. Like I'm not excited at all about James Cameron and his Avatar universe. I don't care. But but I do like find that interesting. The Lord of the Rings things interesting. Do I have Lord of the? I don't have Lord of the Flies. I really should. I actually saw that in high school, Ragman, and I think I saw it maybe once or twice after that. We had to read the, like much like I don't know if you did, but like where I'm from, we had to read the book in high school. Some of the early Doctor Who, a lot of the early Doctor, the entire series of Doctor Who from the original to 1989 is filled with cheesy special effects, and I love it for it. And sometimes it worked way better in in the in black and white than did in color, because you get away with a lot more in black and white, especially with Doctor Who. Oh, there's going to be a few Avatar sequels. He's putting much money into that stuff. Stephen Colbert is the biggest Lord of the Rings fans alive. I'm pretty sure he is. I saw Lord of the Flies when I was in high school, and I saw it a couple times after that. The we got like a not we don't have a lot of people in here today. First Saturday, I'm actually super surprised. Let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about Flash Gordon. So Arrow announced that they're going 4K, and that is a huge deal. Um, when I spoke with Heath from Syrup Midnight, we actually talked about the fact that Arrow and them have not gotten 4K yet, and in that we said, like Vinegar Syndrome's gone 4K. Do I see other companies going 4K? And I said, well, if a company like Arrow does, then you're going to see companies jumping on it. So Arrow announced two 4K releases. They announced the Pitch Black one, which I'm extremely excited about because I really like that film, and they announced Flash Gordon, which is one of my better half's favorite movies. Uh, Great question you have it actually. The soundtrack, the Queen soundtrack with Flash Gordon, is going to be included in the Studio Canal edition of the Flash Gordon set, not in the Arrow edition. So there are different features. Flash Gordon, I'd buy specials in that one too. We'll see. It's going to be hard to beat. Flash Gordon's like it's a movie of its time, and there's such cool cheesiness to it. Brian Blessed is in Flash Gordon. Sam Jones is in Flash Gordon. We got Ming the Merciless. The soundtrack for Queen is great, and that song will stick in your head afterwards. So who is picking up the 4K of Flash Gordon? The Buster Crab serial Flash Gordon's excellent. I remember renting it at Cinematheque on VHS back in the day, one of my local corner stores. You had like the whole thing, but you had like to rent like a bunch of them, so you should rent a couple at a time. So that's called Reach. I haven't seen it yet actually, and so unfortunately my thoughts are limited until I see the film. So who is picking up the Flash Gordon set? Which set are you leaning towards? Which company are you leaning towards getting the set from, and why? What's Flash Gordon about? Have you never? Oh, you've never seen Flash? Okay, so Flash Gordon is based on what was a comic strip, and was a serial back in the day with Buster Crabbe. So in 1980, they made a Flash Gordon movie, a big budget one, a big budget for it today, and it is very much like a camp type film considered now because it's got all this kind of cool stuff and cheesy stuff. Pretty much, Flash Gordon is I think he's a football player, and he gets knocked in a rocket with his girlfriend Dale, with Dr. Arkoff, and the rocket goes up to this planet where there's this evil character called Ming the Merciless, who has who's kind of like he's the bad guy. He's got this gorgeous daughter, and it's just craziness and fun, and it's a serial. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of like fighting and special effects, and there's a great soundtrack by Queen. And it's just one of those movies you put on and you don't think too much. Oh yes, Queen's score on Flash Gordon is amazing. You haven't seen it, oh, dude? You got to see it. I actually think you'll like it. So there's two versions of it coming out. Both of them are 4K. Both are using, from what I can tell, from what I've heard, the same remaster. Yeah, it is a really fun film. Sam Jones is in it, by the way. If you familiar with Sam Jones, so if you ever saw the movie Ted, for instance, which the movie Ted with the teddy bear. Oh, Max von Sydow really enjoyed playing Marissa, so you can really tell that Max von Sydow enjoyed it. There you go, Brian. Max von Sydow. Between the apart from the soundtrack, actually, I brought it up here because I want to look at it. There's more swag. They say there's more swag in the Studio Canal edition, but I'm hearing reports that there's more features in the Arrow edition. However, the soundtrack, especially a Queen soundtrack, that's a pretty big selling point. And I want to support Arrow and get 4K releases from Arrow because I want Arrow to put out more 4K releases. But Thunder Buddies for life. But I do want to see. I do want that. It's hard. I mean, like, it's one of my better ass favorites. We actually, when they had a digital film festival in St. John's, when they had their first one, Flash Gordon was one of the movies that was being shown, and of course we went to it. And it was a blast. We really enjoyed it. I got to see it like I'd seen it before on the big screen. I saw it when it originally came out. But this was my better half. She's like younger than me. She's like about 9 or 10 years younger than I am, right? Yeah, 7 or 8, 8 years younger than me, I think. I got to get that right now. But so she hadn't seen Flash Gordon. She'd seen like the VHS of it, but she'd never seen it in the theater. So it's a big deal for her to see this movie in the theater. You think when it comes to 8 year stuff, man, yeah, yeah, you got to do the math there, man. Yeah, because the thing is, Sam Jones, he became big again when the movie Ted came out, and oh yeah, Timothy Dalton's in it. Yeah, Timothy Dalton's in it. Brian Bless is in it. Max von Sydow's in it. It's got a great cast, guys. Max von Sydow he's the bad guy in Strange Brew. He's the brewmaster. Which also, Strange Brew, that needs a special edition. Just saying, just putting it out there. I know it's got a VHS, a DVD edition, but I want to see Strange Brew get a really good edition. No, Sam Jones did a bunch of stuff. It's what he's most famous for, like by far. I'm an '80s kid. I remember Sam Jones from My Chauffeur. If you got the Vinegar Syndrome movie My Chauffeur, well, he's the love interest in that. He's extremely good, actually. He often gets underrated because he kind of sometimes plays kind of like the jockey, kind of the dumb type of guy. That's just because he's a bigger guy, that type of thing. Hey there, Jason. I think it's up for pre-order. I gotta check. I know that Studio Canal one is, apparently. But they're also going to be doing like a. Oh God, I don't know about this. He also he was the first person to play the Spirit, actually, on TV. So remember the Spirit? Like there's a crappy movie called The Spirit. Well, the one with Samuel L. Jackson wasn't very good. But The Spirit is one of my favorite comic strips. Comic books. It was done by a lot of people, but it was an incredible comic strip, and it played a lot with the format and style. It was very stylistically extremely well done. Well, there was a TV movie, a pilot for a TV series for The Spirit done back in the day, and Sam Jones plays the character in that movie. Of course, he's also in My Chauffeur. He's done a bunch of stuff, and of course, I guess Ted is what he became famous for when he did Ted again. So that they even put out a Ted versus Flash Gordon edition of the movie Ted. You getting the standard 4K edition, Christian? I don't know which one to get. My better half will have to decide because it's one of her favorites. Oh, it's Ted. Oh, Ted was a movie that was put out by what's his name? The guy that did Family Guy. So Seth MacFarlane. With the talking teddy bear? It's pretty much like, with Mark Wahlberg. It's pretty much, him. He's pretty much the same character as from Family Guy. It's a really fun film. I liked it, actually. Yeah, so Anyway, so they're big. Like Sam Jones is at a party in that film. Like Sam Jones is, yeah, he's at the he plays himself actually. How do I compare with Child's? How do I compare Ted with Child's Play? Well, they're very different films. one's like a one's a horror film, another one's kind of an R-rated comedy. So I don't think you could really compare both of those films. Because like Ted is just a teddy bear, and Chucky is, well, basically it's the My Buddy doll, repurposed. Looks different, but kind of give you that feeling, that eerie feeling that you had when you probably watched the My Buddy commercials on TV when you were a kid, and you realize that, wow, that thing looks like it would kill me in my sleep. And then somebody else apparently thought, hey, you know what, My Buddy doll looks like it could kill me in my sleep. Let's make a movie about that. But I don't have either a Ted or a Chucky in my collection. But if I'm going to have one of them in my collection, it is going to be Chucky, Charles Lee Ray from Child's Play. So that's what I'll have in my that's what I'll have in my collection. Isn't it weird how you get into stuff like that? So let me see. I had a picture here of both of them. So I wanted to look through. So, and I don't know if you guys got to see this. I do apologize. So, oh no, this is both versions of the Arrow one is up top, and the Studio Canal one is down beneath it. I know it's really bright, but I can't try to change my phone thing. But and it's small anyway. But just give you guys kind of an option. I will be talking about, well, what I'm doing, Dungeon, is I'm going to be doing a series of reviews and out-of-print titles. Tonight's review later on, what I'm doing is 5 Films, 5 Years, Volume 1. Trust me, it's going to be an interesting review, and I got a lot to talk about. In a way it is, but they still say the features on the Arrow one is a bit meatier. So the Arrow edition here is has 2 Blu-rays, it looks like, or 4K Blu-ray, 2 4Ks, or 4K and a Blu-ray. I'm not sure which. It has 6 postcards. It has the poster of the film, which looks like the original poster of the film, and it looks pretty sexy. The Studio Canal edition has, okay, it has 4 discs, including some including different versions of the film. I think they both have a documentary on it, but I think that the features on the Studio Canal one are on the Arrow one. It's just put on 1 disc as opposed to over 4 discs. Studio Canal also has lobby cards and a different poster from the film. And it has one thing that excites me. It has a reprint of a early, like, Flash Gordon comic strip. Let's see what it says here, because there's like a little thing here. I'm gonna try and read it for you guys. So, brand new 40th anniversary 4K restoration. Studio Canal edition has 5 discs, including the Queen soundtrack, Life After Flash feature-length documentary, which I think you guys mentioned just there, 32-page booklet, Titan mini book, original Flash Gordon comic strip, Flash logo, sew on patch, 4 art cards, plus brand new, hopefully not bland, but brand new extras. And there are a bunch of extras on the Arrow one as well. So depends on what you want to get. Of course, there's the original one. If you don't care about any of the swag or any of the other stuff, then you can just buy it regular on 4K from Arrow and get a really cool science fiction film. You're correct. It just reached Vancouver, Jason, actually. There will be, as far as I know, Java, both films are using the same transfer for Flash Gordon. So it's a good transfer, but the same transfer. So I'm not can't lie to you there. Feature-wise, let's see if I can find it here. Let's go to Arrow's Film's Twitter and see if I can get it to come up here. There we go. Flash Gordon. Let's see if the... I'll give you what's coming on. So I was doing a 4K edition. Well, so you got another edition to choose from. I feel like if you're a steelbook guy, like Movie Cave Dave. Not here, but... Okay, so on... It says here, I confirm now, the Arrow edition is brand new 4K restoration by Studio Canal. A booklet featuring new writings on the film by Kat Ellinger does one of the writings on there. That's a big plus. Photo double-sided poster, 6 lobby cards, double-sided lobby cards with alternate poster and promotional images. Disc 1 has archival audio commentary with Mike Hodges, archival audio commentary with Brian Blessed, interviews with the actors Sam Jones, Melody Anderson, Brian Blessed, Queen icon Brian May, composer Howard Blake, poster designer Renato Cesaro, behind scenes of Flash Gordon, archival documentaries with Mike Hodges, screenwriter Lorenzo Sample Jr., comic book artist Alex Ross, Lost in Space, Nick Rogue's Flash Gordon, a new documentary program exploring the version Rogue, the man who fell from Earth, that originally planned to make, and if that's not on the other edition, that's a big feature. Gremlin's Finest Hour, an episode of the animated Flash Gordon series. So if you like animation, the lead actress is Melody Anderson. She was a cute blonde, and I think she did like some soap opera stuff too. Deleted scenes and original endings. Prop collector Bob Lindmeyer discusses drop sequences and sequel ideas. 35th anniversary Green Room featurette. 35th anniversary reunion featurette. Entertainment Earth on Flash Gordon's merchandising. Storyboard gallery, stills gallery, original trailer, Easter eggs. Disc 2. Life After Flash Gordon, so that documentary is going to be there. 2017 documentary, Sam Jones, a variety of interviews and featurettes, including coverage of a script read from the Chattanooga Film Festival. Sam discusses his career in Mexico, his prayer walk, and more. Melody's paintings extended. Actress Melody Anderson talks about her love of painting and talks about various pieces displayed in her home. Topal, a variety of interviews with the actor on his collections, awards, and charity work. Brian Blessed interviews late great Wingard, actor Peter Wingard, discusses his experience filming it. Deeper Eye, of course, was on the film, so there's another one with that's Deeper Eye interview in it. Alex Ross talks early art. Tell Me More About This Man Houdini, actor Rich Fuller and Jason Lindsay, founder of toy brand Biff Bang Pow, discuss a scene from Flash Gordon. Comic-Con early draft, interview with Lisa Downs, Life with Flash on the Road. It is an insane amount of stuff coming onto from Flash Gordon. That's incredible. So whichever version of Flash Gordon that you're going to go with, you're going to get a ton of stuff. It's insane. It's nuts. I mean, I never would have thought like that Flash Gordon would get this big of a release. Over there somewhere, I got like an early DVD collector's edition of Flash Gordon, which had Alex Ross cards in it. I'm sure some of you guys, if you're Flash Gordon fans, you probably got it yourself as well. There were no sequels. Unfortunately, there were sequels planned, Regman. And of course, like I just mentioned there, they'll be talking about sequels. So there's going to be, one disc edition of Flash Gordon, which is going to be the 4K. There's going to be a 2-disc edition, which is going to have 2 4Ks, as far as I can tell, from Arrow. And there's a 5-disc edition, which is coming from Studio Canal. So whichever way you like your Flash Gordon, it's coming. I'm actually looking around as I'm talking to you guys right now. I'm just trying to peering around to see if I can find our original Flash Gordon that we got here, because when I say I'm a fan of the film, I don't mean like she's like a slight fan. Though. She's a big fan of Flash Gordon, and I am too. It's kind of one of the ways we connected. We're like a lot of this like super geeky stuff that not a lot of our friends were into. Is that it there? Nope. I thought it was, but it's not. All right, so I should have thought of that ahead of time and should have looked for that Flash Gordon so that I could have showed it to you guys, because I'm a big Flash Gordon fan. Yeah, I always like that when they go into like, I especially like when they talk to like the people that maybe like collected the figures or like interested in other aspects of the film. You've never seen Flash Gordon? There's actually a TV series actually that came out, Jason. Remember when Smallville was on? Well, one of the actors from Smallville, he played like Lana's boyfriend at like the first season or so of the series. So he left the series Smallville and went on and did like I think it only lasted a season or so, but he did like a modern day, well modern day at the time, a version of Flash Gordon. There was a serial that came out with the Buster Crab was excellent, and they've tried to bring it back a few years. Oh, huge cult thing. Like even like here, like I'm in North America, and like much like another one is like John Carter of Mars, which was a movie came in a few years back, which is already become like a cult classic. Which and a lot of people don't remember that. Which kind of makes me think of the TV show Buck Rogers. I love Buck Rogers. You know, want to know the truth? Actually, I banged into Buck Rogers, the actor, Joe Gerard. I was actually at a convention, my first convention in Montreal, and I was like I was running to get. This is my fault. To to this thing because I was late for like a photo op signing type thing that I'd signed I'd already paid for, and I came in the turn. I was banged into this guy, and I look up, and it's Joe Gerard, a very nice guy, not pissed or anything like that, just super chill guy. I said hi, and he's like hi, and I'm thinking this is the guy I would skip school to go home and watch Buck Rogers. So yeah, yeah, a big crush on the actress. Me too. I love the series Buck Rogers. I would love to see them do a new Buck Rogers. I would love to see that. A film. I'd love to see a feature film Buck Rogers. Which one? The good girl or the bad girl in Buck Rogers? Because there's like two. There's like the I think Erin Gray is the good one. Is the good girl. I got to look back to make sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure it is Erin Gray. Yeah, Erin Gray was the good girl. But there's like a bad girl too, like a kind of a princess type one. What was her name? The bad girl. I'm trying to remember the bad girl now. I know Tom Christopher's in it. Oh, Pamela Hensley, who I mostly knew from a show called Matt Houston, by the way. Oh, well, he was alive when I ran into him, so I think he's still alive. Yeah, I don't. He shouldn't be that old. But yeah, Erin Gray would be the one. She would go on to be in Silver Spoons, but Pamela Hensley, who played kind of the bad girl, uh, she's in this like she's not bad, but she's kind of skirts the lines. Well, she was in it too, and she's much more curvaceous, and I liked her. I well, when I was young, I can honestly say I usually picked the bad girl, much to my sometimes my dismay, but that's the truth. Very different from now. So it's a small wonder. I guess I can. That's the Vicky one, right? The robot, the robot Vicky. Now see that, like people talk about like the banana splits and the fact they made banana splits into a horror film. They could easily make Small Wonder into a horror film. They could like redo like Small Wonder. You probably hate it, Regiman, but can you see it? They can easily do like Small Wonder as a horror film because Robot Vicky was well, she wasn't the greatest actress, but she was like she was freaky, man. I love Knight Rider. Knight Rider used to come on like God, they used to show them in the afternoons when I used to live in Alberta. I lived in Wetaskiwin, and just about 45 minutes drive away from Edmonton. And I'd go out and I'd do go out for my jog, my daily jog type of thing, and just hang out with some friends and that. And then when I'd come in, like Knight Rider would just be coming on, and I'd eat my supper watching Knight Rider. But I guess by that time it was coming on like I think it was like the summer reruns type of thing. when they're always like mixing around, like trying to get shows like a bigger audience. I love that. I actually miss that because everything wasn't bingeable or things were like on a weekly basis, and sometimes shows wouldn't make it like right away, so they'd put it on again. Uh, I used to jog a lot. Yeah, my from when I was a kid and when I was in my 20s. It's like much like you there. Not so much anymore. Like I go for walks and stuff like that now. But see, I was into gymnastics, right? Aside from acting, I was into gymnastics. And when I was young, I was really into gymnastics. I was on a gymnastics team. I hurt my leg, but it didn't stop me from like going out and like just still being. I'm a hyper person. I'm super active, hyper person. That's just my personality. I'm not sure if it shows on here or not, but that's just the way I am. So I used to do a lot of that stuff. I won't say that I used to be a person that would like go to the gym and like pump weights a lot. That wasn't me. But you know, hiking, climbing, jogging, free running, that type of stuff. That's what I was into. But now I'm older, and I just creak along. Twiggy, Mel Blancs. Yeah, I used to like him actually. What's that noise he did? That the beep beep. I enjoyed that. We're almost getting ready for the point where I'm going to do my first OOP review, and it is going to be like the 5 film 5 years. Bitty bitty. That's it. Actually, bitty. Thank you. Bitty bitty. I love that. You're correct, David. So guys, you might want to get your pipes and gals, put on your smoking jackets, dim the light, and get into After Dark territory as I begin my review on the out of print Vinegar Syndrome series, 5 films, 5 years. We got elliptical in our house actually. It's one. It doesn't get enough use right now though. We got elliptical right next to a total gym. And it's in my office where I do my where I work from home. And a few like small weights and stuff like that too. So, always smoking. Somebody stop me. All right. So, I wasn't quite sure what to do the video on tonight. And this was before the Gamera news dropped and before I noticed that there was 2 versions of Flash Gordon out there. So when that came out, that kind of like buffered me for an earlier part of the video before I got into the meat of the video. I decided I really wanted to rewatch these again, and I wanted to do a review of the 5 films, 5 years set. I wanted to start an out of print series where I could talk about movies, Blu-rays and DVDs that are now out of print, because there's a lot of people that one, you may have them and just not watch them, or you may be collecting stuff and you're kind of wondering if it's worth going that extra buck to go on eBay or go find a seller and pick up a decent copy of one of these out of print titles. It's really hard sometimes when you start collecting copies. Say you just came to Vinegar Syndrome this year or last year. There's a lot of titles and stuff that may have gone out of print. Do you wait for them to come back again? Will they come back again? Is it worth the bang for your buck? So, do I get satisfaction owning out of print titles? Yeah, I get in a way it's cool to own out of print titles. Most of the time, though, I don't normally know that a title is out of print unless one they make a big deal out of it and I get it just before it goes out of print. But most of the time, I'll be here, and and I'll be showing movies like a movie collection type of thing, much like when I was doing the Scream Factory stuff. I was showing off some certain Scream Factory titles, and like Logan was here, Logan Toxic, he's here quite a bit, especially if it's a topic he likes. And he let me know that the Vincent Price first volume was out of print. I had no idea. And it was actually going for pretty big prices. Like the thing for me is that I'm never going to sell the out of print titles, unless like something serious happened. But it's nice to own them. It's always you're a collector. It's a feather in your cap. It's cool to have some titles like that. So on the 5th anniversary of Vinegar Syndrome. Vinegar Syndrome said that they were going to have like a big deal come out because certain films that had come out on Vinegar Syndrome had only come out on DVD. They figured that DVD was probably going to be the best quality that they were going to do for some of those films because they didn't think there was going to be a big market for some of the early adult or exploitation titles. And this was early on when they were doing it. They didn't want to reprint or repress type of thing or go in to actually remaster these films. However, working behind the scenes, getting ready for their 5th year, and they decided that they were going to put out some sets, that they were going to do 4 volumes that were going to focus on their first 5 years in business. 2 of those volumes were going to be Golden Age Erotica. 2 of them were going to be horror and exploitation. And not surprising, actually maybe surprising to some people, but not surprising to me, the Golden Age Erotica volumes sold out first. They sold out the fastest. It was much easier to get the horror and exploitation ones, even as it was going out of print, than it was to get the Golden Age Erotica stuff. And now we're going to find out why. There are was Vinegar Syndrome's oldest title, Herschel and Lewis Lost Films. It's the first title that they put out. There are 5 films on this set here. There is Too Naughty to Say No, which is directed by Suze Randall. Suze Randall, of course, she was a model, and she directed this film. This is a rare run for her. Too Naughty to Say No stars Angel as the titular character of Betty. It's Ginger Lynn, Bunny Blue, Harry Reams, and Eric Edwards in the film. It is pretty much another adaptation of the Marquis de Sade's Justine, which has been adapted many times. Ironically, the movie Justine, the adult film Justine that recently came out from Vinegar Syndrome, that's not an adaptation of the Marquis de Sade's Justine. It has like kind of passing similarities, but it's not an adaptation of Justine. Too Naughty to Say No is, though they changed the character's name to Betty. It is a really good film. And as a film too, not just an adult film, it has a tremendous cast in there, and it's one of those basically where it starts out with Betty, played by Angel, and her classmate, played by Ginger Lynn, and she's reading like biblical passages from this, like, I guess kind of this nun. I have read this out yet because I went to college and we all read that stuff. So. And so she asked the nun, she says, what does begot mean? Somebody begot somebody begot somebody. She said, oh, you might want to ask the priest what begot means later on. And Julian, I think I have. I'll have to check it out. So she falls asleep. And what we get from most of the rest of the film are these oddly connected little segments following her and kind of what begot means. It's called Too Naughty to Say No, and it is really well done. Adult scenes too are extremely well done in this film, and it has a great cast. You're going to see some people show up here. Hey there, JR. That have been in some they've been in a lot of adult films, kind of playing smaller, like almost window dressing type roles. But you're gonna get a lot. It is a fun film. You get it, and it gets into some weird categories. I told you they're out of print titles, man. 4 to 6. Which one is for? But Too Naughty to Say No, I actually enjoyed. Next up was Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls. It's directed by Bob Chin, who actually plays a role in the film, not an adult role, but a role. Basically, Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls is a funny film. It's a comedy, and it's a very kind of slapstick and silly. It's much like it's much along the lines of like I wouldn't say like a Porky's, but like if you think those early to mid 70s kind of like funny sexploitation type of films. Well, this is kind of that. Basically, John Holmes and Bob Chin are 2 brothers. I'm not joking, 2 twin brothers who run a pizza parlor. The 4 or 5 film sets, or what, for all 4 of them. And it's and they're really and And the pizza parlor is kind of a front for like a kind of a prostitution racket. They do sell pizza, but every like version of like there's different versions of pizza, and that's a code word for a different like act. So in it there's Desiree Cousteau is in this one, and she is always amazing. She kind of disappeared from the business. She only was in it for about like 10 or 12 years. They say like she kind of retired. Some people say that her family didn't like really kind of pressure her to move away from the business, and it's a shame because she really has this like sort of just kind of bubbly personality. She's really good in all these films. John Holmes is a good actor too. People forget the fact. People think of the certain aspect of John Holmes and forget that he was actually pretty good, and that'll be displayed much more later on in this set. Anyway, so basically the storyline behind this is she's come in. Meanwhile, there's this inspector that's going around named Inspector Blackie, and he's kind of like he's spying on them. He's very much an Inspector Clouseau type character who's very klutzy. For some reason, rather than having cars or bikes or anything like that, the girls all go around on skateboards. So all the girls have to know how to skateboard. You can see that some of the girls know how to skateboard more than others. That's a skateboarder, yeah, I can tell. Even the Inspector Blackie, goes around on a skateboard, and he has like a siren, like one of those that he has in his hand. So that's kind of neat. The main, kind of one of the main plots behind in the story is that, and I don't want to give everything away, is that there is a character called the what's a San Francisco Night Chicken, which is sexy assaulting girls, which you don't show on the screen, so don't think it's going to anything. And there's no triggery things in this one here. It's very much played for comedic effect. And it is hilarious. It's really good, and the mystery behind the San Francisco Night Chicken is kind of solved at the end of the film, and it's very much tongue-in-cheek, and they play it really well. The adult scenes are extremely well done. The comedy scenes are also extremely well done. So it plays both ways, and it plays it extremely well. It's a great cast. It's a great film overall. And if somebody like just wants kind of a light, kind of fun film like that, and don't mind the adult portion of it, yes, I could. Yeah, yes, I could. Actually, I could do all of that right now. Probably not so much. I'd have to get back on and like get used to it again. But I skateboarded and I rollerbladed, and those were supposed to be enemy things, but I did them both. Next up was The Bold Tales of Canterbury, directed by Bud Lee, written by Pei Lee. It was an adult film star herself, and it is exactly what you think it is going to be. It is an adult version of the Canterbury Tales. And what it basically is they're traveling to Canterbury. They've all put money into a purse, and they all tell a story. And the person that tells the best story, Pei Lee's character is going to judge whose story is best, and that person is going to win the entire purse of money. So as you go through, there's different stories being told. Of course, each story is kind of an erotica type story. As far as the adult segments go in this, they are extremely good. One thing, there was one negative towards the film, is that I really hated the song that was playing in the background through a lot of it. There's some weird musical cue choices that I wasn't exactly a fan of, but the film overall, certain sequences were really good. Pei Lee has she wrote it. She saves one of the big scene near the end for herself, and it is good. But it is cool. It's well done. The song, the Tales of Canterbury song, actually, I've never tried VCX, but thanks for the heads up, so I won't actually. It sounds a lot like the Ballad of Sir Robin. So if you're a fan of Monty Python, you know the Ballad of Sir Robin. I guess it has that kind of feel to it, without the kind of the comedic portion of it. It's just not the best song. Next up is, he did actually, yeah, is Prisoner of Paradise. Prisoner of Paradise is another one directed by Bob Chan. Now, remember the last Bob Chan one I told you was like a really comedic one, the Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls, and he plays a role in. He plays a small role in Prisoner of Paradise as well, like just kind of a cameo type of thing. But it's a much different film. It's a much darker film. Again, this stars John Holmes. Bob Chan worked with John Holmes a lot. In it, John Holmes is a Navy man, and he's in love with this girl. So they have this big scene. He's going away. He's being sent out on a ship for 60 days. He's going to come back, and you kind of feel like they're getting ready to make that next step. Like when he comes back, he's going to marry. Like this is going to be it. This is his last trip out. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, but this is early on in the film, so it's okay. He did a lot actually, and he's one of the better. Like aside from like there's some dark stuff behind it, but he was one of the better actors that came out of it. The probably one of the best actors that ever came out of the industry is a guy named John Leslie, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Prisoner of Paradise had a so basically he goes out to go to his boat when bombs drop, and then we start to see footage, and all of a sudden we realize this is Pearl Harbor. And this is during the Pearl Harbor attack. Hey, Danuch, welcome, man. Doing reviewing my first OP review. She dies, and he goes off onto a boat, and the boat gets destroyed. He is he's stranded on an island, which he initially thinks it's just him, and he's there left with his thoughts. And we find out the Pearl Harbor story through flashbacks, basically. And I was kind of shocked. I didn't know that's where it was going, and like obviously it's a very dark story line, like the death of his of his true love, and setting it, it was a pretty big deal to set it in Pearl Harbor. So eventually he finds out that there are other people on the island. There's Nazis on the island, and they have kidnapped these two nurses who he tries to save, and he ends up getting captured, and it ends with a fiery conclusion. That's what I can tell you. It's a fun film. I really enjoyed it. It went in some dark places I didn't expect it to go, but overall the film's really good. Cast-wise, it's excellent. You got John Holmes. Sika's in this one. Sika plays a Nazi, a very Ilsa-like character. I think her name actually might be Ilsa. It also has Jade Wong, Mei Lin is in this one, and Gail Palmer, and of course who was behind the film, because this is although directed by Bob Chan, it's considered to be directed by Bob Chan and Gail Palmer, and the movie is called Gail Palmer's Prisoner of Paradise. The fifth and final film on the set is the best film on the set by far, and I will rate these afterwards, by the way. Oh yeah, actually Peter North was in a couple of these films, and I think he's and so is Mike Horner, that I watched recently too. Peter North's Canadian, by the way. Peter North is like one of those guys that has a mainstream look to him, and he has done a couple mainstream things. And there's an actor called Michael Wincott who has a brother that acts as well. But Michael Wincott was in a show called Night Heat, and the character Michael went at his youth, and Peter North, they have a similar style look to them. Peter North was always asked why he didn't do mainstream stuff, because he was an actor. He had the look, and he could actually act. And he said, "I get paid to have sex with beautiful women. Why would I want to go from that? Why would I want to go in films where I'm going to fake having sex with beautiful women when I can be paid to do the real thing?" So, point taken, Peter North. Point taken. So yeah, and Mike Horner's fun. And I do agree with the expressions. So the last film was directed by Anthony Spinelli, who was an amazing director when it comes to films. And it's called Dixie Ray Hollywood Star. There was an R-rated edition of this film. He was honest. It's called Murder Baby, and it is a film noir. Definitely a tribute to the film noirs of the past. The old gangster films, that type of thing. It's a murder mystery, and it has John Leslie, who is an incredible actor, by the way, playing the role of Nick Papadopoulos, who is a private investigator during the World War II time, because it's a period piece, and he's hired by Dixie Ray, who's this Hollywood starlet that's played by Lisa Lelou, and because she is apparently being blackmailed, and she's not quite sure who it is. It could be this mob boss that's actually played by the director Anthony Spinelli. I'd actually have to look. Probably, I think John Leslie did become the director of the Virus series, and or it could be her ex-husband, but he's not quite sure which, which one it is, or either, or is it somebody else, or is it her daughter that's actually shacking up with her ex-husband behind her back? There's a lot of twists and there's a lot of turns. The movie actually has, let me get the name right here, Cameron Mitchell and John F. Goff in the film. And I'm sure Cameron Mitchell is a name that you all know. You've probably seen Cameron Mitchell in a million films. Let's see if I can find him here. But John F. Goff is also a name that you probably don't know, but you should know. He's a character actor that has done a lot of movies, like small roles and little things. When you see him, you kind of like, don't I know him from something? So I'm just gonna like go down through his like an IMDb stuff, like just mention some of the films that he was in, where he played different roles. He was in Ilsa. He played a Nazi guard in Ilsa. He was in Ilsa, the first one, Adventures of the Wilderness Family, where he played a doctor. He was in Lady Coco. He was in The Witch Who Came from the Sea. He's Molly's father in The Witch Who Came from the Sea. He would be a sheik in the Ilsa harem keeper of the Isle Sheiks. He would be a police detective in Drive-In Massacre. Would be in the Buddy Holly story as TJ. The guy did a ton of stuff. The Capture of Bigfoot, Gas Pump Girls, he's in that. He's in the movie The Fog, the John Carpenter film. He actually was in an episode of Dukes of Hazzard. He was in the movie Alligator, the John Sayles film. The guy did a ton of work, and a lot of it was like smaller work and stuff. But give the guy credit. He went out and he kind of forged his way. And he's one of those people that you know when you see him on the screen. This guy Mitchell in Hedwig and the Angry. Cameron Mitchell. No, I think Cameron Mitchell was passed by then. Cameron Mitchell was in the Toolbox Murders. Like he was definitely in the Toolbox. He's definitely in the Toolbox Murders, the original Toolbox Murders. He's talking about the big hair. I used to have big hair like that. I know it's hard to believe right now because I don't get any hair, but I was one of those guys that had the big. Ever see Remington Steele? Ever see the show Remington Steele? Just randomly. With Pierce Brosnan, the TV series. Okay, my hair is exactly like that. That's what my hair looked like when I was in high school and college, except when my hair went curly. But yeah, that's what my hair was like. Hard to believe now, but that's so as puffy as that was. But let me just check something here for you. Maybe. You're probably thinking of John Cameron Mitchell, actually. Because he was in. He was in Hedwig. Cameron Mitchell unfortunately passed away at the age of 94, at the age of 75 in 1994. He did a lot of westerns and stuff like that, and he would do a lot of films, like much later on in life. As far as these films go, in the five films, the Dixie Ray Hollywood Star is the winner. It is the number one, like top pick on this. He was, I think he did actually. I think it was Bonanza. Cameron Mitchell did a lot of stuff in this series. Next up, I'm going to go with Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls just because it's so fun. Then I'm going to pick Revealed Tales of Canterbury because the scenes are really good. And then Prisoner of Paradise because the story's so good. And Too Naughty to Say No. every film on this set, if you like adult films, or if you like films, if you like erotica, if you like films like usually with erotica and story and actually have acting in them, and some decent dialogue. I don't actually, but there's some of these I do want the DVDs of to go along with it. Exactly, Jason. And that's the other thing I was going to get into. So thanks for, you segued this really well. So every one of these films were originally DVD releases. So if you already have this set and there's a film that you particularly like, there's, like Jason just mentioned, some of them have features that are exclusive to the DVD releases and are still available to get. For instance, Dixie Ray Hollywood Star is an incredible adult film, but it is also an amazing R-rated film it's called Murder Baby. And that edition you can find exclusively on the DVD that Vinegar Syndrome originally put out for the film. Some of them actually have commentaries and stuff with them too that you should definitely look into. But every film on this set is a winner. There was not a dud on the set. Never once did I feel like I had to, like, I didn't know it was that expensive actually, that I had to fast forward at all. Each 5 of these films are good. If you can't find the set for a decent price, I do recommend looking up some of these films, say especially during the next Vinegar Syndrome sale, their DVD editions. I do think that Dixie Ray Hollywood Star is one of those that it's good enough to say yes, even if you don't like regular adult films, it should be in your collection. If you're a film noir buff or you like the gangster films or the 30s and 40s style films, Dixie Ray Hollywood Star is extremely well acted. And as far as people in it, we got Veronica Hart, Juliette Lewis, better known as Aunt Peg, by the way, Lisa DeLue, and of course John Leslie in the titular role of Detective Nick Papadopoulos. Great twists in the film. I like how the reasoning behind it and why because there's a murder, like it becomes a murder. It actually starts out as a was your second favorite mouse? Who's your favorite? No, not Julia Lewis. Sorry, Juliet Anderson. Juliet Anderson played Aunt Peg a lot. Like it was a character she did. Jamie Gillis. You have good taste, man. Jamie Gillis is my top 2. And John Leslie's number 2. So we have similar tastes. Because these were guys that could really bring it to the role. And they brought a lot to these roles. Jamie Gillis is actually in Too Naughty to Say No. He's actually as an important part in that one. He's not in any of the other 4 films. Not that I can remember anyway. But yeah, Juliet Anderson. She kind of started, I'm not sure if she started when she was older or she just has this kind of matronly look about her. So that she was playing this Aunt Peg character, which is kind of hilarious. John Leslie played one of the gypsies in the pride. You said that actually. Didn't you say John Holmes played one of the gypsies too? So did they both? Were they both in it? Or was it John Leslie? Maybe I read it wrong. But he's an extremely good actor. And he did one, I'm not going to mention the name of it, but John Leslie did one, sort of a detective one in the 80s that I've been looking for a long time, but I haven't been able to find it. No, just John Leslie. Okay, so I read it wrong first time. But would I recommend the set? I would. Obviously, I didn't know it's that expensive. But if you can't get the set, look for the DVDs. I would say if you are a fan of good films, Dixie Ray, get it. If you're but every one of these films has something. No, Fleshpot on 42nd Street Dungeon is its own film. It's got its own release, and because that was a big release for them, like a really big release. It's an Andy Milligan X-rated film with and an incredible film, by the way. I do recommend picking up Fleshpot on 42nd Street, which is one I will talk about sometime. I'll go in and I'll actually review it. So there you go. The very first out-of-print review. So guys, how do you think I did for the very first one? Dick Miller's in Chopping Mall. Frank Miller's the guy that did Dark Knight. Frank Miller's a crazy nutball. Dick Miller is an awesome character actor. Thank you, Javid. Thanks, guys. But you'll be seeing many more of of these here. They won't always be adult. This is that just this one tonight was the first one to go. To kind of this was the pilot one to see if you guys liked it. Then I would do more. And you know, it could be anything. I could be doing Disconnected. I could be doing a Scream Factory. I could be doing a Code Red or a Twilight Time. So it's going to go all over the place in all different genres. Could be Western. Could be Giallo. Uh, but I'll always let you guys know ahead of time. And sometimes you may have you may have choices when it comes to which one I review, if you want me to, and I do want your input on this. Would you like me to? I won't be doing them all in a row or anything like that. Would you like the other 3 volumes of the 5 films, 5 years sets reviewed as well? Oh yeah, yeah, because you are in. It's over on the page now. So don't forget check it out, yeah. Because there's one more Golden Age erotica one, but there's 2 horror and exploitation ones as well. So if erotica's not your bag, there's 2 horror and exploitation ones which are really good too. It's not taking me a bit of time to get used to giallo film styling. It is. Do you watch it? See, I like to watch it sometimes with if I know the film well, I'll watch it with the dubbing on. But in a lot of times I'll watch with the subtitles. That's just me though. Well, it's at this point, Brian. It's on our Patreon pages on Heath's and mine. So that's behind a Patreon wall thingy. But don't worry, even if you're not a Patreon person, Monday that's coming out live on Heath's channel. So you'll be able to see it then. Uh, and it's around 45 minutes long. We had some technical issues, but Heath's a master of editing, so he's able to work that out pretty well. So hopefully you like that. So check out Sarah Midnight's channel on Monday, and it should be live then. You said Monday, Tuesday, I think, but I think Monday. It's Criterion polyester. Oh, that's such. I love the cover for polyester. It's running on a Sunday. You're getting it. Do a Dick Moss. Is there any out of print? I will do Dick Moss films. I don't know if there's any out of print ones there. I do want to do a review of Amsterdam down the road. I think that's a really good film, and I don't think enough people have seen it. Less Than Dust is fun. It's a parody type film, like a Western parody film. People expect it to be too much John Waters like. I think because the Vine's in it, they expect it to be just like a John Waters film. And there will be similarities, but it's a Paul Bartel film. It's not a John Waters film. But it is a really good film. I liked it anyway. You're lucky. I'd love to have some mail running on Sundays. I'm waiting for my L. Absinthe set, which it was in Vancouver last time I checked. So once that comes on, hey, welcome back, Chris. I'll be reviewing that, and I'll be also doing a review. Was it Leni Kazan who played the daughter? I'm trying to remember it on polyester. Probably no, it's not. That's something Less Than Dust again now. Now the other ones, unobstructed view ones, I hope I'm going to get them. We just go with that. I hope I'm going to get those films. And then, of course, eventually the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. I'm not a subscriber, but so I'm not going to get them as early as some people. Subscribers are going to get their Vinegar Syndrome stuff first, as they should. And eventually, I'll get mine. Probably in about a week or so. I'll probably get like a shipping notice. Some people get theirs earlier, which is fantastic. Yeah, like to be fair, like Severn like put mine in first class. They did like put mine in first class. I paid for first class, and they put it in first class. It was just what happened afterwards. Like it just got shot all over the place. Not their fault. I have no ill will towards Severn. I got a tracking number. I been able to follow it along the way. It's been having a great vacation. But But yeah, I'll when I do get it, I'll put it on here and review it. Serial at Midnight's I actually reviewed it. I haven't looked at his review yet. I want to see it, but I don't want to see his review until after I get my set. Once I get my set, then I can watch his review and I can say, okay, yeah, and look at it. It's like spoilers, like Riverside would say, spoilers. But I do, if you want to see the boxing that Serial Midnight did, I think he's going to be reviewing the whole set too. That's the first. I know that the initial unboxing is definitely up there, and I've kept away from watching it yet because I don't have my set yet. Once I get it, I can watch it. The other stuff I don't know if I'm going to get it. Uh, there's the killer thing. Everyone reviews of the Hellraiser films. It's a good thing that you kind of mentioned that to Nooch actually, because one thing that I mentioned on here early on the channel, and I mentioned this in my Instagram post as well because of the video on Instagram, is that one of the other things that I'm doing, aside from the print reviews, um, the series is the ongoing series, the rotating stuff, to try to give you guys as much different and unique content as I possibly can. I'm doing, as you guys know, I'm doing director series. I'm doing my After Dark stuff. I've got the out of print reviews that I'm doing now. I do the collections, collection updates, and the collection videos. I do the unboxings because I'm not going to have a lot of unboxings to do because money's tight. But my Vinegar Cinema unboxing is legit bigger and more impressive because of you guys. And one night that blew me away. And so I will be doing a Forgotten Franchises series of films, and I don't think they're. I'm not sure if Hellraiser is considered a forgotten franchise or not, because obviously there's more than being done. But people usually tend to focus when it comes to YouTube and places like that. They focus on the big three. They focus on Friday the 13th. They focus on Halloween, and they focus on Nightmare on Elm Street. I want to do the other franchises. I want to do the prophecies. I want to do the Hellraisers. I want to do redo my reviews on because I did earlier reviews on the Wrong Turn films and some of the smaller franchises that you wouldn't necessarily think about. Candyman, for instance. It's back in the back in the news now because of the new one. But I'll look at all the old Candyman films and some of the other films that are going to be painful to watch, like the Crow series. Children of the Corn for sure, yes. Children of the Corn, Sleepaway Camp, Candyman, The Crow, Puppet Master, 100%. Though I may wait on Puppet Master for a little bit, Dave, because I want my kids to be around for the Puppet Master ones. Where does Texas Chainsaw Massacre come? The 1970. You mean 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre? It's a perfect film, in my opinion, my humble opinion, in my not so humble opinion. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a perfect film. I've got a very few list of films that I consider perfect films, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre is on the list of a film that I consider just about perfect. Anvil Horror, a little bit more down on the list. I like Anvil Horror. It's well acted, but as that's cool, man. But as far as I guess that's not Place Get Stranded. But as far as films, I like the Amityville Curse series. Like when I talked about and pimped the Curse collection that was put out by Vinegar Syndrome, it wasn't just because Vinegar Syndrome put it out. It wasn't just because it was one of their first box set. It's because I really do like the Amityville Curse series. That's my favorites of all the Amityville. Amityville 2 and Amityville Curse. Those are my favorite ones. I like the first one. I like Margot Kidder's in it. James Brolin does a good job. It's a creepy film. Well, yeah, Texas Chainsaw is kind of based on like a true story. Like obviously, there's things from the Ed Gein story that's taken from that, but it's fiction. It's fiction. I like that. Creature features. That'd be a nice one actually. I definitely with the Gamera set, and I got the Godzilla set from Criterion as well. There will be some creature features, kaiju stuff, but that's probably going to be we're going to be looking at the fall when it comes into that, because the Gamera is coming out like in late July, so early August. What they made a family of Ed Geins. I I'd heard that, and I heard like Tobe Hooper was in a supermarket, and he was waiting in line, and he saw display chainsaws, and he thought, if I wanted to, if I could take one of those chainsaws, and I can make it to the top, to the beginning of that line, really fast. Uh, so a lot of different things come into the making of a film, and like just the whole genesis behind it. But yeah, the creature feature one for sure. Christmas shopping, that's what it was. See, there you go. You know the story too, didn't you? Zodiac's fun. I mean, like I haven't seen it in a while. That's the Fincher one, right? But who hasn't had that thought of like chainsawing through a line during Christmas? Probably not me. Uh, but have you guys heard about the new Wolfman movie coming out? Speaking of like that style of thing, they're doing a new Wolfman film, and it stars Ryan Gosling. They're working on getting a director right now. It's written by two of the people that wrote Orange Is the New Black, and it is gonna it's a modern day Wolfman film, and they said it's kind of it's dark. It's kind of in the vein of like who's seen Night. Everybody has. Remember the movie Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal? Any fans of that? Because they say in a way it's kind of going to have a bit of a feel of Nightcrawler in it. So there's a few ways that they can go with it. So yeah, uh, so it looks like they went from doing like the dark universe adventure style of like films, like the Mummy and stuff like that, to making these films here. Like obviously after the success of Invisible Man, very different from the H.G. Wells Invisible Man. Like they did a very different version, but an extremely well done take. They're making these darker films, and that's what they're going to be. The Universal dark and scary. So Ryan Gosling, can I see Ryan Gosling as the Wolfman? Yeah, yeah, I can, because he has this, and Gosling's not a big guy. That's the thing. He's not a big guy, but he's one of those guys that has this kind of this like quiet, simmering intensity to him. I guess that's the best way to put it. Look at a movie like Drive, for instance. Okay, whether it's your bag or not. I sound like Austin Powers. It you can't fault Gosling in that film, or like a lot of the other films that he does as well. He's that's what he has. He has this kind of like this quiet, simmering intensity, whereas like he just he makes it believable. Skull is fantastic. I like it. It's fun. It's silly, but it's fun. Yeah, he did a great job in Blade Runner. So the same, and I'm gonna say, I was a fan. Like I know people are gonna hate on this, but I was a fan of the Benicio del Toro Wolfman movie. I really was. Uh, I think that it definitely borrowed a lot from Paul Naschy, and that's probably why I was a fan of it. It was definitely a Paul Naschy style Wolfman film. So I did enjoy that film. Satanist Seminary. These are great ideas, man. If I ever had a staff, what are you? But yeah, Satanist films. I can definitely do a Satanist film, subgenre one. Race with the Devil is fantastic stuff. Oh, yeah, Race with the Devil. And of course there's the classics out there. To talk about it, but Race with the Devil is my favorites. I love that film. Devil's Reign. I got to get Devil's Reign. I still don't have that. Severin put that one out. I'd say I'd get it during the Severin sale, but if I get anything during a sale in the near future, I'm just as well to tell my better half, say, hey, I want to get this, and she'd be like, my better half's like, no, no, now you must die, because you promised not to mention it again. Awesome is Blood Satan's Claw, Brother to Satan. Uh, Again, Seven put a Blood Satan's Claw too. You could release a wolf. A wolf isn't that bad. I mean, like people like Reagan, but wolf is like it's what it's meant to be. Like just take it as like an allegory for like capitalism and kind of the whole yuppie era type thing. Like as that, take it like almost like Wall Street. Take like Wall Street, and then have fun with it. Because you got like Jack Nicholson and James Spader. How can you go wrong with that, man? The Mask from 1960 from 61. Is that the Canadian 3D one you're talking about? Where where it's like put on the mask, which literally meant put on your 3D glasses. Now you can take off the mask. If that one, I love that film. Have a great night, Dave. See you here soon. This has been one of my longer videos. Actually, I'll probably stop the video soon anyway. So you're getting the Mike Nichols does a lot of different stuff. You guys have some great ideas tonight. Creature features, satanic films. Uh, I do initially want to do like some. I'm going to do like kind of a Canuck exploitation maple syrup horror type series too. The idea that I want to do, I actually the original Wicker Man I loved it. The other Wicker Man was hilarious, but the original Wicker Man I loved. It was one of those that really really got to me the first time I saw it, and it did kind of creep me out. Although was it Ursula Andress or who was in that one? What's her name? God, the girl that doesn't what is naked, but they actually she was kind of think she's pregnant at the time or something, so they had a body double. She's in the next room. She does that like seductive dance. Her name's I'm sorry, but I'm forgetting her name right now. But yeah, I love Wicker Man. Oh yeah, I'm Canadian. I got to do a exploitation series. It's like is there either Canadian YouTuber that does exploitation yet? Like is a series type thing? Um, I thought there must be, but if there's not, well, I'm going to be doing it. So we're going to be looking at the Canadian horror stuff. The idea behind this channel, aside from going live and like being like interactive, Delta Delta Delta. I've actually got that movie over there, so that's one I could do down the road. Actually, that's kind of cool. But I want to be able to rotate these things, like to have a OOP review, to have a director series, to have ones that talk about the latest stuff coming out, talk about news and stuff, to review certain films, whether it be a satanic film or a monster film, or a exploitation film, and like eventually get kind of banners. Oh well, banners. So you guys know when you come in here, if it's an After Dark one, you see an After Dark thing. Okay, yes, that's what I like. Bam, you're in there for that. If it's a exploitation one, I'll eventually think of a name for that. You see, oh, this exploitation one. I want to make sure I don't miss out on that one. If it's like a monster film or a kaiju film, yeah, I'll actually talk about the Girl from Rio. That sounds familiar. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember it, but I kind of feel like I do. Is that weird? Rather than just be like me doing a random video here and there, uh, I kind of want to do stuff like that. Just Franco movie. Oh no, then maybe I don't think I don't know if I have, or I may have if it's under one of the many Just Franco movie names. Girl from Rio. I'm looking that up. Women are taking over the world. I wish they would, damn it. I have no issues with that. Women are prettier than me. Oh, Shirley Eaton from, is that the one? It's just, oh, it is just Franco. George Sanders, Shirley Eaton. Wow, good cast. If I haven't seen it, I'm going to look it up. See if I can find it. Because I do plan on doing like a Just Franco film, retrospective, which you guys know. I was waiting on some stuff. to come, and they, yeah, not coming now. But there's a few like I'm looking for that I'm waiting on, like just Franco stuff in order to do his film retrospective that I want to watch too. The Jess Franco film retrospective takes a little bit long because I got to watch a few films, and just take notes and rewatch a few of the other ones. But I'll be doing Jess Franco in the director series. There's Jess Franco. Dario Argento will be coming up soon, by the way. Also, I'll be doing I'll be doing a retrospective on his stuff, and I'll be showing you the Dario Argento stuff that I have in my collection. I'll give you guys some places to start, places to go. Export A. Not to promote singing. Export A. I used to smoke Export A when I used to smoke, actually. That was one of my... I used to smoke for a very short period of time. Oh, whenever you get the chance to nooch, and just let me know when you do, so I can keep an eye out for it. I'm actually excited to see that film again. I will definitely review that one because I do like neo-noirs, so we'll be talking about that type of stuff as well. So there's lots of different stuff to talk about and lots of videos to make. Oh my God, almost too many to make, but it'll be fun. Thank you so much, Douche, by the way, because I couldn't get it at the time, and you saved me because it's gone out of print now. It's gone out of stock. At least it is on the Twilight Time site. Whether they're going to bring it back or not, we'll see when we find out in July exactly what's going on with Twilight Time sale to Screen Archives. Lots of rumors, not a lot of confirmation. Well, here to save me. I like that. But lots and lots of rumors and stuff. I think that Twilight Time is going to go to Screen Archives, and they're actually going to do they're actually going to continue the brand, and we're going to see like some new acquisitions come from that. I appreciate that, and when I'm in a place to help you out, I definitely shall. Keep me updated on the video thing, by the way, because I got to do a lot of work when it comes to that. But it'll be fun. But guys, it's that time again. Here we are. 107 minutes. This is one of my longer videos, and let me know sometime. But I know maybe it's because it's a Saturday, but not a lot of people came in like for this video, which is a shame. But that's okay. Let people know. Feel free to tweet this video out on your Twitter account and like it if you haven't liked it. Share, subscribe, all that type of good stuff. The Syrup Midnight one is for Patreon subscribers are on mine and Heat's Patreon pages. For people that aren't Patreon subscribers, you will see it coming up, I think, on Syrup Midnight's channel on, I think, Monday. Given Monday, Tuesday at the latest, but I'd say probably Monday. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. It runs, the video that me and Heath did together runs around 45 minutes long. It's the first collaboration video that we did, and we don't think it's going to be the last. We think we might do a couple other things together, actually. We got a couple ideas, kind of like mulling about in our heads, so there's that. I am Aaron. This is my movie library. You are the Call of Cinema. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. And I shall see you here probably tomorrow, if I got a really good idea. Thank you, Jason. And if I don't, I kind of have that Carabinet song stuck in my head now. Then we'll be here Monday at the latest, and hopefully, I'll be unboxing something on Monday, because hopefully that unobstructed view stuff is not gonna come. It's gonna come and surprise me by actually being here. Have a great evening, guys. For me right now, you're right. It is time for tea. Have a great evening.